Hello everybody, it's me, Scoop, and I don't think anybody expected Primate to be any good. So yeah, I don't think it's a shocker to say, didn't like this movie. I actually didn't even really want to see it. I bought a ticket for The Housemaid, not that that's like any better, but I'm a silly guy and I drove to the wrong theater. And unfortunately, the only movie within 45 minutes of me getting there that was starting was Primate, so I saw that instead, and yeah man, rough time. Funny enough, it was just me and two other guys in this theater. I mean, I wasn't really expecting any different. It was Primate in the middle of the day on a Thursday. Guess they were unemployed too, I don't really know. So the plot of this movie is actually like painfully simple. This family from Hawaii has a deaf father. Their mother was like a linguistic person, studied linguistics, linguist perhaps. And she raised this pet chimp that was like really smart. She taught it to communicate, and then she died. And now sometime later, the family's been a little split apart after her death. The eldest daughter is returning from, I think, college. They actually don't even say, they just say, "You've been gone for a long time." They say that like 4 times, but they never really say what she was doing or where, so whatever. She returns home with 2 of her friends. They have a little party with some other people, and in the middle of the party, their pet chimp gets rabid, or goes rabid, gets rabies, and it starts killing them. So they have to fight him, and they do, and they kill him, and then the movie ends. So not only is that the plot of Primate, not even really skipping too many details, few little minute things in there, but that's pretty much all you're gonna get here. But that's also the story of Primate, which is a much bigger issue. So for those of you who want to get technical about it, plot and story are actually 2 very different things. Plot is very much the what and where, so it's like, the plot of Primate is they go to Hawaii, they fight the monkey. And the story for a movie like this would typically be grieving family must overcome their differences and come back together stronger than ever to defeat the evil in their home. You know, it's more of a journey, what the characters are learning. However, this movie doesn't have a story. It's really just plot. The movie is genuinely like 90 minutes of nothing burger. There's just these very generic character archetypes who don't learn anything or progress or have any strong personalities. There's just these random story elements like tossed in haphazardly. It's like, oh, our mom died of cancer. And I guess the story should be about the family coming back together, but they don't really address any of that. They, in the most literal sense, fight the monkey and kill it, and that's the end of the movie. The tagline of the movie is, "There's something wrong with Ben." The first 25 minutes, all the characters are like, "Oh, but Ben's our family, you don't understand. He's like any other regular family member. He's more than a pet." And then Ben gets rabies, so they sort of mention like, "That's not Ben," you know, you gotta have that dramatic line for the trailer. But there's never this moment where the characters kind of come to grips with, even though Ben is physically, you know, alive and attacking them, because he's now completely rabid and incurable, he is essentially dead. There's no recognition of that at any point. Even after they genuinely stab this motherfucker through the heart and kill him, there's no recognition of, damn, we just killed a family member. The only ties we had left to our mother, her living legacy. There's none of that. Like, it's just bullshit. I would also say the only reason for picking a monkey as your villain in this movie over any other animal, it could have been a shark movie, or it could have been a lion movie, you know, any wild animal that could overpower a human, is when you have a monkey, an ape, I actually don't know what the difference is. But when you have a monkey as your villain, what's interesting is that, especially this monkey, they call out, he's very smart and he can communicate, is he's an animal, but he's so human-like. Like, he could have human mannerisms, like a deep, true personality. He can communicate with them very directly, and the movie never uses any of this to its advantage. The most we get is that bullshit you probably heard in the trailers, like, "Lucy, bad, where he has the iPad and he like hits the buttons on it to say words, and it's just like, what are we even doing here? He pretty much just goes from normal monkey, there's like one scene of him staring at the water and kind of like drooling and growling at it, and then he's completely feral after that. So there's no de-evolution of him from genuine communicative family member to rabid beast that's gonna kill them. He kind of just flips, and it's just not remotely interesting. Although I should call out, there was one sequence of this movie I vaguely enjoyed where it actually does kind of touch on what I've been saying about Ben being a very human-like but still animalistic villain, is there's these weird like fuckboy, frat boy characters that kind of show up in this movie. They're in like the opening scene. The girls meet them on the plane on their flight to Hawaii, and then they invite the boys over almost as like a bit. The guys show up like right at the start of the first act, and they're basically just like, "Oh, yo, bro, I can't wait to have so much sex in this house." Like, they're not even characters. They are just, again, the most vague, basic archetypes. They are painful to fucking watch on screen. And so they're going through this abandoned, demolished house, and they're like, that's weird. And one of them's like, "I'm gonna go to the bedroom." So he goes upstairs, where Ben is obviously waiting, and Ben holds him down. He pins his arms to the bed. He sits on him so he can't move his legs, and the guy basically begs to be let go. So you could understand what they're going for in this moment, the type of experience that the guy might be having with Ben weighing him down like this on the bed. But then Ben just kind of rips his jaw off, which is honestly a pretty decent moment of gore and violence in this movie. Might as well call that out as well. And then we kind of go on our merry way. There could have been something interesting with this sequence, with the animal on top of the man here, and the general archetype that this is happening to, but unfortunately, Ben is just a completely, like, wild beast who just kind of does whatever the plot needs him to do, and the guy is just, like I said, a vague-ass archetype. There's no meat on the bones here for us to dig into this at all, for this to be remotely interesting. It's just kind of this vague idea of something that could be interesting, and that's when it gets the most frustrating with a movie like this. There could have been something cool if you tried, but you didn't. Although, one more time, it is a little unfair to say that nobody tried, because the cinematographer here was carrying this goddamn movie on his back. The only redeeming quality, not that the cinematography was amazing or anything, but what was really keeping me entertained was every time the movie got into, like, bottom of the barrel horror movie writing, you know exactly what I'm talking about, the cinematographer would lock in and actually, like, try to rescue these moments a little bit by filming them really well to sort of distract you from how shitty the ideas and the writing is. I think a good example of this is, like, while the girls are trapped in the pool because he can't swim, even though the movie is highlighting that because he is rabid, he's hydrophobic, like, doesn't fucking matter, whatever. One girl is finally like, guys, I'm gonna get out of the pool. I'm gonna try to save us. So she, like, slowly creeps out of the pool. She takes a few wet little steps, and the camera's really tight in on her. And then you hear kind of like a splash, a creak behind her, and you're supposed to be like, oh my god, it's Ben, is Ben behind her? And then what they would have done is a fake out jump scare where there's like a really loud noise and a boom, and you see it was actually just another friend following her out of the pool, risking her life for no reason, of course. But instead, our lovely cinematographer here, Stephen Murray, decided to lock in, so he gives us this nice tight shot as she creeps out of the pool, and it sort of starts spinning around her till we get it from the back, still pretty tight. You hear the creak and the splash, and you're like, yo, like, what was behind her? Did Ben just drop in? And then it spins back around and reveals the friend standing right by her side. So he's sort of using camera work to delete the fake jump scare, even though the pace of this moment and the sound design wants it to be a fake jump scare, and instead turns it into a pretty cool shot of this girl kind of trekking on her own, going into the danger just for her friend to immediately stand by her side and be like, no, I'm coming with you. This is just something cool to me. Like, it highlights the power of cinematography and how important this shit is, and why everything shouldn't be filmed like those 2022 to 2023 Marvel movies just slop on a green screen, or the Stranger Things finale. Like, the framing of the shot and the way the camera moves and all that can tell so much of a story, even when the script and the sound design is in the shitter, in the garbage, in the trash can. I think another good example of this is there's a moment a little bit after the one I just described where the two girls are basically pinned in a closet with Ben, like, slowly working his way in, trying to find them. And in this moment, Ben should basically be face to face with them. He should see them and then immediately kill them, but obviously the two main characters can't die. We're only halfway through the movie. So the cinematographer was like, okay, what if we filmed it so it looks like Ben is up here and the girls are ducking down here, even though realistically the girls are sitting up in this closet on the floor. So they're kind of like this, and Ben is, you know, he's in his hunched over monkey pose, like sticking his face in. So realistically they should be face to face, but they built this big fat closet set and they use these kind of funky angles to distract you from the fact that they're literally face to face, but Ben can't see them. Just another good moment of, like, movie magic. People on set did clearly give a shit when, like, the director just did not. He was also the writer, so this couldn't have been a passion project, is all I'm gonna say. However, Primate doesn't let you get out of the theater on a good note, so this video can't end on a good note for the movie either. They try to do that fucking annoying thing with every horror movie where at the last second there's like a little stinger that makes you think, oh, the villain's still out there, this might not be over, but they couldn't even do that correctly. Lucy and her dad are standing there and the little sister gets wheeled off to the hospital. The little sister was bitten by Ben hours ago, so she's infected with rabies, but nobody seems all that concerned about this. The opening text crawl of the movie is all about how important it is to get the shot in like the first couple of hours, otherwise you're cooked from rabies, but I don't know, we never even see her get the shot, which is really funny. So I thought the ending stinger was going to be like the sister turning fucking feral or rabid or whatever. It wasn't that. Instead, she gets wheeled off in the ambulance. The dad and the sister are standing there, and you hear, Lucy, bad, from behind Lucy, and she spins around, and it's just like a cop holding the iPad, like hitting buttons on it. And it just cuts to like a sigh of relief from Lucy, and then the movie just cuts to black. You just have to wonder like what they were going for there. Was that supposed to be a joke? Was it genuinely supposed to scare you? There's no moment where it's like, oh, it's a scare, but then it's a fake out and it's a nice little joke to end the movie on. It's basically just scare, Oh, no, never mind, you're good. Oh, okay, it's over? Alright, bye. It's just so awkward and so confusing and just such a dog shit final cut to end on. Oh, Lord. I just really can never wrap my head around movies like this and how they come to get made. Johannes Roberts? Johan Roberts? I don't know. Like, there's no way this guy sat down and was like, oh, this is just a story I'm dying to tell. My movie must get made. But I also can't imagine Paramount was like, all right, writers, listen up. We need a movie about an evil monkey. What do you got? And then they read the script and were like, bang, perfect. This is gonna make bank. Like, nothing about this movie screams highly marketable, profitable horror or like horror movie passion project that just didn't work out quite well. Like, there's just nothing to it, man. This is like borderline embarrassing. So, what do I give Primate? I think probably to nobody's surprise is getting pretty low. 1.5 stars. Genuinely, like, I think it's the only movie on this channel where I've sat here and been like, do not watch this. This movie is unrecommendable. It's not even so bad it's good. It's actually just like slop. It is just pure fucking slop. Don't see it. Don't giggle at it. It's getting close to making back its budget, so like, fair enough, I guess. Paramount can put some of those millions towards buying Netflix again. I don't know, man. Don't see it. Not worth it. I don't know. If any of you guys have seen it, there's not even much to discuss, but drop a comment down below. Let me know if you liked it more than I did. Weirdly enough, this has like a 7 on IMDb. No idea how that happened. I don't know who's giving this movie good reviews or for what. A few of them were like, oh, just turn your brain off and it's a good time. And I'm very good at turning my brain off and having a good time. Even then, this movie is just so bland nothing burger that I can't even do that, you know? I do not get it. So, thank you all very much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video. Subscribe if you enjoyed it even more than that. Have a great night, and keep it crispy.